Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Okay, I see eyes. That's a good sign. Just give everyone just a minute or two to get themselves comfortable, and then we will get started. Today is an inspiration showcase day, which means that I have inspiration from our design team, Christina and Amanda. And that is all we're going to show today. Woohoo! It's one of my favorite kind of lives to do because everybody loves inspiration. All right, what's everyone saying? Hello, hello, hello from chilly Ottawa. How chilly is it, Tracy? We are it feels like 4 degrees here today. The sun was out for a little while, so that was good. Hello, everyone. But yeah, winter is coming, unfortunately. There's not much we can do to stop it. It's going to come. Okay. Everyone's tuning in. Awesome. All right. So what we're looking at right now. Oh, well, Florida. I'd like to be in Florida. I would love to be in Florida. Sunny but cool in Kingston. It's windy, 1 degree. Yeah. Well, it's not too windy here today. But yeah, it's cool out. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the inspiration that I showed on the weekend in a pre-recorded YouTube video for the giveaway that we did. Now, I know that's kind of past. We are sold out of the giveaway, but it is inspiration. So I thought I would come on here because not everybody participated in that on the weekend. And, I just thought I would share. Okay, so I'm seeing a foot of snow in London today. So funny story, we were in London on the weekend. That's where our race was. And on Sunday, they were calling for snow squalls, and we didn't leave London till about 7:30, 7:45. And when we left, it was not really doing much. Just outside of London, we hit an area that was really bad. We were towing a 30-foot trailer. So I was holding my breath the whole time. And then once we kind of got out of that, it wasn't too bad for the rest of the drive. But I did hear you guys got quite a bit of snow. So you can just keep it. We don't have any hardly here. Just a little bit along the edges of the driveway, which is left over from the weekend. But we didn't get nearly that much. So thank goodness. But yeah, you just keep that snow. Okay, so this was the inspiration that I provided. And it was from this set here. So if you guys were lucky enough to pick up this set on the weekend, yay you. Because it is a fun one. When I first purchased the set for the giveaway, this was a while ago, I just assumed it was the string of lights. And then I discovered when I opened it up that there is actually dies to make these little ornaments as well. So it was kind of a nice little surprise. I said in my video that I kind of scrap lifted these 2 card ideas for inspiration, and I had so much fun making them. So, yeah, if you did grab this set, yay you, because you're going to have a lot of fun playing with it. Unfortunately, it is discontinued and we can't order anymore, but, yeah, it was a fun one. So that's where we're going to start off the inspiration, with was my samples, because I don't get to show things that I make very often. So, now we're going to go into some things that Amanda created with Tailored Expressions products. So the first thing we're going to run through are the products. This is it's called Disco Vibes, and it is the Disco Balls layering stencil. I did show this previously on a live, just showed it when the product came in, but we didn't have any samples yet. So I might have shown you some slides. So this has 4 different layering stencils that create these disco balls. And then there is a foilet that goes along with this, and I'll talk a little bit more in depth about this. I do have a foiled sample there for you to see. There's a matching die set that you can use on its own, or you can pair it up with the stencil and the foilets. There is a sentiment set called Groovy Greetings, and it is a stamp and die combo, and it has this really fun font and some pretty cool sayings that kind of go along with the disco balls, but there's several that can be used on their own. I love this background stamp. It's called Wavy Check. So it's a red rubber background stamp that gives you that beautiful wavy check. Kind of looks like a checkered flag that might be blowing in the wind, but you can use it for lots of other things. And then a cool thing that I had, now we haven't had this in stock yet. It's en route to us, but is this disco foil cardstock. So I'm going to hold this up here so you can see this. Isn't that ridiculous? You can see me. Look at, hello. But it is so cool. It's iridescent. It picks up the sparkling lights. So neat. There's my camera. It's like a mirror, really. It's awesome. So there I am. So you never get to see me, but here I am. Hello. So this is en route to us, and this can be used for a lot of different things. Lots of sparkly options with this one. So that is the product. Now I'm going to show you the samples, and then I'll kind of go back to that product and sort of point things out. So my first two samples, or sorry, Amanda's first two samples have been using the, oh no, that's a lie. She did cut these out. So this is using the foilet and the stencil. Okay, so what she did was she took the foiling panels. So here is a set here. Now each foil panel is a little bit different. So you get 4 different versions. So see on this one, you get just the outlines that are foiled. On this one, all the black areas are foiled. This one even more is foiled, even the strings. And this one here, it's kind of some of the interior pieces plus all the sparkles on the outside. So each one is slightly different. But anywhere you see black, you can foil. Now you don't have to foil. You can use them just as black, and then they will kind of be like your stamped image, and then you'll fill in with the stencil, and then you'll have outlined areas or highlighted areas that remain black. So you do have options with these. But this is one of the foilet panels once it's foiled, and this has a silver foil with stars in it. Now I'm not sure but see all the twinkling? I'm not sure it picks up the actual stars. Maybe it does, but you can certainly see it catching the light. And it is really, really cool in person. But there you can see that beautiful silver foil, but then all the little sparkles that it catches, those are the stars that are in the foil itself. And there's lots of different kinds of foil that you can use, colors, and some have patterns in them and some don't. So there's lots and lots of options. So the foilet panel was used on here. And again, I'll kind of just tip it so you can see that sparkling effect. See those twinkling stars? That's in the foil itself. And then if I get the light going the right way, there you can see the actual foiled look. So they really are quite sparkly. And I love this. You're my favorite vibe. So it kind of has that retro feel to it, but it can be used for generic things as well. And then in the background here, you can see that wavy check background stamp that has been covered up with the front panel, but you get the edges of it showing through on this one. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2, the dies have been used. This is a foil panel, but just foiled in black foil. So I'm going to tip it and see if I can get the light to catch it. See that? So the black foil is actually shiny. But if you didn't use the foil, you just wouldn't have the shininess. But this is what it would look like if you use the foilet panel on its own without the foil. So that's this panel here. So see how it's got all the black lines on it, which is really cool. And then the stars were created with that funky foil paper that I showed you. And it's also around the outside edge. So I'm just going to just turn this just a bit so you can kind of see it catch the light. So isn't that fun? And then this greeting says, "You sparkle." So again, nothing to do with disco balls, the sayings, but they kind of go with it, which is sort of nice. And then in this sample here, she has used the actual dies. Now I know you can't feel it, but there is dimension on this. I don't know if I can turn it and you can see it, but there's a die cut on the top. And then the foil panel is in behind. And the stencil was used to fill in parts of it. And then on this particular foil panel, all those little stars and bursts around the outside are foiled. So again, I'm going to kind of turn it so you can see all of that sparkly thing going on there. Isn't that great? And then this sentiment says, "In your disco era," which I love as well. And then the final one is this one here. And again, no real foiling going on here. It's just the die cut. Oh, no, this might be foiled in the background here. The black, it's got shine to it. But again, if you don't want the shine, you can just use the foil it panel on its own without the foil, and it'll just be a flat black. And then again, that checkerboard background is shown peeking out of the edge there. And what she did with this one is she stamped it and then she ink blended over top of it to give it the color. It is so fun. They really are spectacular. And when you see them in person, they're even more spectacular. So again, I'll just hold it up there so you can kind of see all the details. And there's one of those great sentiments, and all it says is happy birthday. So the sentiments are quite versatile, and you can use use them for lots of things. I like this, deck the halls with disco balls. So you could make them Christmas themed and definitely do something Christmassy. Aging like fine disco, which I think is kind of fun. Dancing Queen, happy birthday, you sparkle. You're my favorite vibe and in your disco era. So they are tons of fun. And so that's that grouping of products. Isn't that great? Any questions on these before I move on? I'll just sort of gather them up here and then I'll check for questions. So yeah, just keep an eye out for this because this is coming soon. It's just really fun paper. We didn't realize it was as cool as it was when we first, it's a retail only item. So it's not, we don't normally order those in large quantities for the store. And then when we saw how cool it was, we're like, well, we better place a reorder because we're going to need those. Once we show it, people want it. Okay. People are still rolling in. Hello, everyone. Looks like neon inks. Nope, just regular inks, regular dye inks. I don't know. She doesn't really list her ink colors. Oh, yes, she does. So it looks like Pink Fresh and Concord and Ninth were used on those samples. So just regular inks. You can get them really intense if you do lots of heavy layering of the inks. And of course, the colors that you choose will depend on how vibrant your colors are. Okay, yeah, the paper's awesome. Okay, and then another product from Tailored Expressions that we did show when it first came in but didn't have samples is the Triple Slim Layering Stencil, and that is the postcards from Paris. So when you use these 5 stencils together, you'll end up with 3 mini slim panels that create those 3 images. Okay, so, and then there is a matching die set. Now we sell it both ways. We sell it just with the quad, and then we also sell it with the quad and the die together. So you have an option for those. And then here are 3 cards created with those Triple Slim stencils. So here's the first one. Now Amanda chose to do a craft background and did all of her inking. Now this particular mini slim also does the border on this as well. So there's 2 different borders that you can get with this mini slim design. The cool thing about the stencils is you can mask off any areas that you don't want and still use the stencil. So in other words, if you masked off the center part of this stencil, you could get just that border that you can use on your mini slim cards. And you can create them in any color scheme that you want. And this one kind of has a little bit of a postage feel to it, which I really like. And then once she was done, she actually die cut out with the dies the image that it created and then popped it up within the same panel. And you'll notice that fine line script stamp in the background there, just done in a white pigment ink. It's also a really nice touch. Just kind of makes it look like a little bit antique and tones down the overall look. She added a little bit of clear stickles to the middle of those macarons or macaroons, however you say it, and added a little bit of sparkle to that. And then number 2 card, you'll get a different border. Again, you can mask off areas of the stencil to create just that border if you want to. She also did that stamping with the fine line script stamp from Tailored Expressions. And this one does the Eiffel Tower, which again, she's die cut out and then popped up and put back into the panel. You get the cute hot air balloons as well. So this would be a great icon for anybody who travels to these areas as well, because these would make great embellishments on your page. You don't have to use the whole card. You can just use the tower itself. And then the third card is this little scooter stacked with gifts, which would make a great birthday card. It does the cobblestone walkway, and then the die will cut this out. And then she's got that script stamp in the background as well. So that's what those look like when you have stenciled them all out. And you do get all 3 panels at the same time if you want to use the stencils as they are intended. Again, you can always choose to just do 1 or 2 or just the borders, just the images, however you want to approach it. So that is a fun set for sure. And then we're going to move on to a little bit more seasonal set. And that is this one here. It's called Cozy Waddles, and it features these 2 adorable penguins that are squished together. They kind of look like conjoined twins, and they are wrapped in 1 scarf. And then you get these cute little sentiments. So it's a die and stamp combo. The sentiments say, "What'll I do without you this Christmas?" So if you've got people that you need to send cards to that you're not going to see over the holiday season, it's kind of a cute greeting to use. "Snow glad we're friends and you're a true gift." The nice thing about penguins and scarves, it has a wintry feel to it as well. So it does transfer nicely into the winter season once we get past Christmas. So I think the life is extended because of that. And then we've got a couple of samples here. This one, they're both actually Christmas themed, but you can see the potential for winter. So this one is inside a little snow globe. And to make the snow globe is an arch. And I believe this is from Tailored Expressions, and it's the Snow Globe Builder die. So it's just the base. Comes in 2 sizes. So depending on how big your arch or your circle is that you're using, you can create your own snow globe. And there are those adorable little penguins. I'm just going to hold them up so you can see the detail when you die cut them out. Aren't they cute? Can change the color of the scarf. And then she's added some snowflakes and a Christmas greeting. Now the greetings are from this one here. This is the Sundry Sentiments Holiday. Their Sundry line of sentiments is their #1 selling font for sentiments that they've ever had. They told us that on a video recently. So you get these great greetings, plus you get the to and the from. And there's also a Let It Snow in there to extend it into winter. And then you do get matching dies for all of those. So that's what the greeting that she used on this one. And then on this card here, she used one of the greetings that came in the set itself. "What'll I do without you this Christmas?" And again, an embossed background using an embossing folder. She changed up the color of the scarf to sort of a teal blue and added some snowflakes. And I love that pop of red as well. But it's just such a cute set. And again, I am always thinking about layouts. So how cute would these penguins be on winter layouts and things like that as well. So not just restricted to cards, but definitely a lot of fun to play with. So that is those 2 samples. And again, that's using the Cozy Waddles set from Spellbinders and Sundry Sentiments holiday version from Tailored Expressions. Okay, and now we have some really cool products from Pink Fresh. So this is called Once Upon a Holiday, and it pairs up with a few products from the release where they had the Tree of Tales, which is book related. So this is a stencil that stencils out a stack of books in the shape of a Christmas tree. And then there is a die that will allow you to cut it out. And when it cuts it out, it adds all of these etched lines into your stenciled image. And that will give you nice texture on your design. So that is what that is. And then this is the matching sentiment set that kind of goes along with it. You can use some of these greetings away from the book theme, but some of them are really nice to tie together. Once Upon a Christmas. So again, that can be used anytime. But something like this, from our bookshelf to your happy holidays. No, from our bookshelf to yours, happy holidays. So that's a little bit more specific. Let the magic of books brighten your holidays. So really nice if you have a book club or if you're giving books for Christmas. Warm holiday wishes. That's a generic one. The best stories are shared at Christmas. I think that's a pretty generic one as well. You can use that with the book theme or without. Slaying the Season, one book at a time. A Season Full of Joyful Stories. Again, one you can use on its own. And May Your Holiday Season Be Filled with Stories Worth Telling. I also love that one and can be used separately. And then they all have matching dies, including this little one here. And then I'm also featuring the Shadow Box frame die. And this is a really cool die that creates, why do we have tape on here? That creates a 3-dimensional book frame out of paper. So you can put photos in there. You can put scenes that you've created with your stamps and dies in there so that people can display it, which I think is a really cool thing. So that is featured on one of these cards as well. Let's show that one first. So here is that really cool book tree with one of the sayings from our bookshelf to yours. Happy holidays. Inside that, what do they call it? Shadow box frame. And topped off with some snowflakes. Isn't that cool? So this could actually be displayed. So it is dimensional. And you can put anything in this. Isn't that fun? So Amanda has, I'm just going to hold it up so you can see the die. See how it puts all those etching marks in there? But Amanda has used a little bit of a shimmer pen on this and created a little bit of shine. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up, but you can see that in some of the different sections there. So that is what that looks like. I love that. It's great to display at Christmas. I have a bookshelf in my family room, so it would be fun to do. So this does not fold for mailing, Tracy. It is a completed project, so you would have to actually squish it in order to mail it. It's not really foldable. Once you make it, it's kind of done. So maybe something that you give to someone in person, or you pay a little extra postage and package it so that you can mail it out. But it is a really fun one for sure. And I also think that the stencil and die would make great ornaments as well. So if you stencil it out and then you cut the die to give it all that texture, you could cut the die several more times and glue it in behind to stack them up, just to give it some stability. And then you could totally create an ornament for your tree. So I think that's a fun idea too. Again, great gift ideas for fellow book lovers. And I have quite a few of those in my life. So that is pretty cool. And then if you want to use it just on a regular card, here is an example of that. So a little bit of sparkle there with the gems, a little stenciling in the background, paired up with one of those great greetings, and you have yourself a holiday book card. So isn't that cool? I love it. And again, you can change up your colors too. So if you want a little bit more of a masculine theme, if you're into more of a fantasy type of book style, you can maybe tailor your colors towards that. You can keep them festive, whatever you like. And really, I mean, if you wanted to, you could chop off the star, and this could just be a stack of books. Well, there's a little tree in there. But that could be like an outdoor tree. I think you could use this outside of the Christmas season. We're seeing it with Christmas things, so we think shape of a tree. I think if it was just a stack of books, I'm just thinking of that set from Lawn Fawn, the Cozy Cats that just came out, and they have books with it. If the cat was curled up down here and it was just a stack of books, that's, you know, depending on what you put it with, you can get it to extend to other seasons for sure. But that's a really fun set, and that's from Pink Fresh. So, and now we're going to move on to another one from Pink Fresh. So my grandkids love the movie The Polar Express. And when I saw this is a stamp set that says Holiday Express, and it has the train coming out of the tunnel, and it's got this really tall train track bridge. It's the first thing I thought of. And it does have a matching stencil. So in here, you get stencils that stencil in the different parts of the stamp. And you end up with a beautiful scene, which I will show you samples of. But in addition to this stencils that are in here, you also get stencils for trees. And those trees pair up with the matching die set for this set. So we sell it as a stamp die stencil. And there are stencils in here for this design and then also for the trees. So the trees can be used separately, and you guys know how much I love trees. So this was very exciting, but then when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, it's like an extra bonus. So now I'll show you some of the samples. So we're going to start with this set here. Isn't that beautiful? So you've got that gorgeous tree coming in, or sorry, stencil of the train coming through the tunnel and across the bridge. And we've added the trees in at the bottom. There's even a couple tiny little trees at the top. There's some glossy accents on the windows just for added texture and detail. So they look a little bit shiny. Isn't that fun? And in this particular one, the whole background has been stenciled as well. Now you could definitely eliminate the Christmas feel to this by switching up your colors. I know there's a place in California, I think it's on Highway 1, and you actually pass an area like this, and it also reminded me of that. So it could be work well for travel as well, or if you want to create a masculine looking card. And some of the sentiments from that book set work really well with this as well. So that's sample number 1. Here is sample number 2, a little more wintry and sparkly looking with those metallic and white trees. And this time we have a pink train, because in card making, you can have any color train you want. And there's that tiny warm holiday wishes stamp that I showed you on the sentiments with the book set. And then we have one more featuring, look at those little trees in the background. So cute. Okay. And then we have a set done just with the trees. So it is a lot of fun. And now this is the Sundry holiday set from Tailored Expressions for the sentiment, and a nice silver metallic scalloped background on there. But I love that. And so you can see the stenciling on the trees. It gives you different textures, and you can even make these areas snow covered if you want to. They're so fun. So I love the versatility of this set. And again, it is a stamp stencil and die combo. And the die does just the trees. And you can see all different sizes. And then there's the little trees that are featured on the cards as well. So again, that's Holiday Express from Pink Fresh. And now we're going to move on to Concord and Ninth, because they always have such great stuff too. So this is the Winter Bouquet Stamp and Die set. So this is a set that you can layer your blooms. You can see that when you stamp, it's going to give you details in the stamps along with greetings. There are leaves that you can layer in the background, and it kind of makes it look really super 3D. There's a very cool stamp right here that you can create a snowflake background with. And then you also get greetings. There are no dies for the greetings in this case, but I love the font. Like, look at that really cool Happy Holidays and greetings, Merry Christmas, joy to you and yours. Those would be nice on tags as well. And then you get the nice big Noel. So you can cut out all those things as well. So let's show you this one first. Everything is flat on this card. There's no dimension at all. So the vase is stamped, and then you can see those leaves in the background, these pieces here. And then you've got your flowers, and you can see that when you stamp out the greenery, there's these openings here, and that is where you insert the stamp for the blooms on your flower. So everything kind of nests together, and you can see that little stamp that I said you could use for snowflakes. You can also use for accents around your image. So that is a flat, right stamped on your panel kind of card. And then this one here, everything has been die cut except for the leaves in the very background there. You have a stamp and a die to cut out individual leaves, but that one stamp right here is stamped right on the background, and that gives it a lot of dimension. So you have things that are laying flat and then things that are popped up, and you can see the variegated part of the blooms when you stamp. So that is a really cool look. And again, that's got some dimension to it. So there's definitely things you can pop up. And then in the third version, we're going to leave the vase out completely. and just stamp and die cut all of the pieces and layer them up to create a floral image. And then there's that Noel stamp. Again, no dies for the stamps, but it still works. You can stamp right onto your panel, or maybe you have tags or banners or even stitched rectangles, you know, the nesting kind. They often have small ones that you can use as panels to stamp your sentiments on as well. So lots of options, even though there are not dies. Okay, so those are the three samples for that. And that's called Winter Bouquet, stamp and die combo. And then our last one, no, sorry, our second last one is this set here. This is the Triple Step Evergreen Stamp and Die combo. So if you don't know what a triple step stamp set is or how to use it, what you do is each one of these stamps creates a different layer in the tree. Linda Lane, watching in the New Zealand airport. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Well, welcome. So you would stamp each one of these stamps separately, but on top of each other, like a layering stamp, to create different colors of ink layered on top of each other in the shape of a tree. It's a beautiful set. You're going to see in a minute what it looks like. So that's what these three main stamps are for. There is a die that you can cut out your tree and make it dimensional. Again, I'll show that to you in a minute. And then you also have some really beautiful greetings. And then I love this little stamp right here. This is like a super awesome bonus stamp. It just creates, you can call it splatter or you can call it snowfall. And we do have a sample of that being used as well. So that kind of a stamp is kind of a hidden gem within the set. So that's the stamp part. And then here's your die. So the die cuts out the tree, but then you get all of these amazing supporting dies. And I took the time to cut some of these out because I wanted you to see the value in something like this. So the tree is awesome. That's kind of like the star of the show. But then you have your backup singers, we'll call them. Okay. So, and the backup singers never get enough credit. I always wanted to be a backup singer. So you've got your banner piece, which will be useful for stamps like Merry Christmas and Peace on Earth. You can use it for the smaller ones. You're just going to have to shorten your banner a little bit if you're using this particular one, but maybe you have a smaller banner that you can use from your stash. There is a traditional star, which can be used for the top of your tree or just as a star. You have a bow, and wait till you see this bow. It's beautiful. Then you have this combination star, which actually, if you layer it, looks beautiful on the top of your tree, but can also be used on its own. You have this beautiful word joy. And then this little plate here does all of these little circles in different sizes, which can be used as ornaments for your tree, or they can be used as faux sequins or enamel dots or anything like that, which I'm going to show you in a second too. So there's a lot packed into this set. So let's go through the samples. So here is sample number 1, and you can see the different colors of green that are stamped to make this tree. And it really does give it kind of like a watercolor look without any of the effort. I love it. And then you can see the bow featured at the top of the tree, the Peace on Earth sentiment. I love the simplicity of this. And then if you look closely at the background, you can see the tone-on-tone snowfall. That was created with that little bonus gem stamp that's right there. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that up a little closer just so you can see the detail within the tree. Now, I did watch a quick video on this when it was first released, and Carissa Wiley, I think she does the intro videos for this particular release, and she actually die cut her tree first. So in this case, it would be at a white, and then she lined her stamps up on top of the die cut to stamp them out, and it worked quite nicely. But she said you don't need to do it that way in order to get them to line up. They line up very easily, and it doesn't even matter which order you go in, because you're switching up the colors each time. So it's quite fun to do. Here is a second version. Now this one still has the bow on the top of the tree, but you'll notice that those little circles have appeared as ornaments on the tree. Now, Christina cut these out in red, and then she added some sparkle on top of them. which is kind of fun. And then you can see the Merry Christmas sentiment stamped out. She's used the banner twice, once in red and then layered white on top and offset it just a little bit. And then there is a stencil in the background, which we'll talk about in a minute. And here is a third one just with the tree. And there's that beautiful joy word. And look at that star. I'm just going to zoom in on that so you can see that layered star. And then look at the ornaments. These are done in a silver shimmer paper. So I'm just going to set this aside for a second and I'm going to bring over my tray of fun here. So what I did was I took some of the dies on their own and just cut them out so that you can kind of see what this will look like. So here in this section here is the word joy. So this, I used a brushed gold finish paper, and it's just so beautiful. And the dot for the eye does come out. It's right there. So that's what that looks like. I love the simplicity of it. It's really awesome. And I can think of 1,000 times that I could use this word. This is just the plain old traditional star. And again, it's out of that brushed gold paper. So it's got some shimmer to it, but nothing too crazy. Then we have the bow. I did this in a red foil paper. So there's that shiny bow. I'm trying to get the light to catch it there so you can see the shine. Isn't that great? And the bow does come with a little centerpiece that you can put on here, right in the middle. So it just creates, whoop, just stay there. It's a little offset, but let me just get it in the right spot and then I'll hold it a little closer. So it just kind of finishes it off to be a really beautiful bow. And I love the long stems on it. So again, a couple of the samples showed it right on the tree, but just think of all the places that you could use the bow. Like, it's just crazy. And then I cut out of the same red foil paper, I cut out the circle plate, and look at all the little dots that I got. Now those can be used for ornaments on the tree. They can just be used, like, you know, when you go to your box of sequins and gems that you want to add to your card, you can cut these out of metallic paper, solid paper, whatever you want, and just place them on your card as an embellishment. And then we have this 2-piece star. I also did the elements in this silver metallic paper too. So that is really cool. And then this is the star that you can layer. So I did it in the silver shiny glittery paper. So this is the 2 pieces. And you simply layer them on top of each other to get that dimension for the star that would go on top of a tree, or even just on any kind of Christmas star. It could be the Star of Bethlehem. It could be a lot of different things. I love the idea of being able to layer it. And then here it is done in that gold piece as well, but the separate stars. So you can use them separately as well. Now I see somebody asking about the tray, and I absolutely knew you were going to ask that. We can get them in. It's actually porcelain. It's a beautiful tray, especially for die cutting. They sell for $26.99, and you will never regret the purchase. So if you're interested, you can email the store, and I would recommend doing that. Don't just assume you're going to get one. We're not going to order these in large quantities unless we find we get a lot of requests. So it'll be $26.99, and we can definitely order them in. I love it. I have it on my desk all the time. And I love that you can just do your die cuttings, and especially if you're doing like large projects where you have a lot of die cuts, it kind of sections them off. It's easy to get things in and out, but it is glass. So, you know, you don't want to be traveling around with it too much. And if you do, you want to wrap it up good so you don't break it, but it is a really, really great option. I find I can get a lot of die cutting done, like while I'm watching TV or something like that. And then I can just plunk everything in the little sections. And then when I'm ready to actually put stuff together, you just pull out the tray, everything's there, and you can just grab pieces as you go. So I highly recommend a tray like this. It's really awesome. We can get them in different sizes too. And I might order in a few different ones just because I think they're just such an amazing tool for your craft room. So that is that. But I wanted to die cut out some of those pieces because there's so many hidden gems in a set like this that you don't see just by looking at it. So beautiful tree stamped out, lovely greetings. The die set is killer on this one. So it is called Triple Step Evergreen Stamp Set and Die. So it comes as a bundle, and that is that one. And then we have one more set to show. But in addition to that, we have this Merry Mix stencil pack. Now, I did show you the one card that has the stencil background right here. So inside this package, you get stencils to create 4 different backgrounds. So there's 6 stencils in total. And it's such a festive little set. I'm just going to pull them out here so you can see. So you get this beautiful sort of Nordic sweater kind of stencil. Isn't that fun? Would you ship this or in store pickup? Yes, we will ship 100%. It comes in a nice box where it's protected in foam, so we can totally ship. Yep. So we can do that for sure. So look at, isn't that an awesome set? And again, you can get creative with this and create just a strip just by masking off certain parts of the stencil. So I love this Nordic sweater kind of look. So that's one. This is the 2 stencils for this look. I'm just going to, maybe you have to turn it this way. Got to get it the right way. Yep, there we go. So if I put this in behind, the first, the first layer, well, that's not quite right. Let's see if we keep turning here. Eventually it's going to be right. Somewhere along the lines. Here we go. So we've got, that's not right either. Anyways, they do line up and you get the greenery and then the berries. So you can do the 2 options. So if you just want greenery, or if you just want this would make a great snowfall stencil just on its own, just with the dots, but you can pair it up with this. And then there is a 2 set piece for a plaid, which is awesome. Or you can just do diagonal stripes, thick or thin. So you've got some options, and then a beautiful snowflake pattern as well. So it's again, it doesn't look like much when you first look at it, but the versatility that you get within this set is quite amazing. There's a lot of different options, and because you have so many options, you don't tire of it so soon. There's so many things you can make with it. So that is the one set there. And then in here, we're going to feature the Christmas crackers die set and stamp set. So the die cuts out the crackers and lots of little embellishments and words. And then you have some decorating pieces and lots of sentiments to go along with this. Yes, tons of options out of the stencils for sure. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up the tray specifically, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think I've answered all those things. Okay, so that's what we're going to feature here. You can see you get these really great little inspirational photos on the back. And again, these tiny little sentiments are really cool. Even Happy New Year is fun. Party time, you can use that for birthdays. Oh, what fun. That could be used for a lot of different things. I love woohoo because sometimes that's just what you want to say. But I love the font that they're using for all this too. And Christina has created some really fun samples for us. And you can see that Nordic background stencil featured in this particular card. She kept the crackers pretty simplistic with this one. Just out of a solid color of cardstock. She added a bow to each of them. And then you'll notice at the top, there's a little stamp on the ends of each of the crackers. That is these pieces here. And I'm just going to flip this back over. There is a bow somewhere right here. That's the bow that she used for decorating those crackers. And there are stars in here as well. There are solid ones and then also outline ones. And then you get little pieces in here where she's added the confetti. I love the colors of this one. Oh my gosh, the pinks and teals with the little splash of green. So much fun. And again, she's used those stamps to add details. And then the icons that you get in here, she's used to decorate the crackers. There is the word cheers that can be embedded in the cracker right there. So you can actually cut a hole for the word cheers, and then the cheers letters will pop out, which you can also use. The stamps can be used to add little greetings to the front of your crackers. So Happy New Year. Oh, what fun, party time, woohoo, like that kind of stuff can be added. Aren't they cute? And then this was pretty smart. This cracker has been opened, so cracked open. And then instead of having everything flying on the front of the card, she turned it into a shaker. So whatever came out of the cracker is actually movable, which is really cool. So she used some beads and sequins, but then she also used some of the confetti pieces that you can cut out and decorated the card front and then also put them inside. So I thought that was a really cool idea as well. So that is that. Pretty fun, right? But I thought for our giveaway today, we would do something a little bit different. So I often die cut out all these fun things like this. And then when I'm done with a live, I put them in a little bag and I throw them into a bin in my craft room. And I go back to that bin quite often. Sometimes I pull them back out for future lives to revisit something. Sometimes I use them on my card projects. And sometimes they just sit in there. So what I did was I gathered up a bunch of things from my bin. And that is what our giveaway is going to be today. So in order to earn this, you need to shop. Okay, so anything that I featured today in the live, if you shop between now and tomorrow night at midnight. So I'm going to give you a little extra time because a lot of people watch these videos on replay. So it's not a live draw. It's going to be an after the fact draw. And we'll give until tomorrow night at midnight. And then on Thursday morning, because today's Tuesday, right? Yeah, so Thursday morning, I will post the winner on our Facebook page. Okay. And then we will add this collection of goodies to your box, whether it's already, if you've already shipped, we'll just start a new box for you. If you are still coming to pick items up, then you can pick it up when you pick up your package, etc. Okay. So we're going to have this available. I just thought it was to be kind of fun because now you're going to get a variety of different things. So I'll run through what is all here. So I have this Grateful title that is made. So I probably showed this when the set first came out, and it is stacked and it's all glued up and ready to go. Perfect for some fall or Thanksgiving type of project. We've got a couple of trees. This is from the Tailored Expressions Through the Woods set. So we've got some stamped trees. We've got a sentiment from a Tailored Expressions Altogether Christmas set called Jingle All, like this is says Jingle All the Way. Look at this fun one. This is the Ho 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 title. And in the middle, we've got some metallic, which is kind of fun. We have a large die cut word hi. We've got a happy birthday sentiment. And again, these are already stacked and glued together. So they're just ready to use and you can just plunk them on anything. We've got a couple of frames. We have a little mini envelope. We have a couple of tags, beautiful scalloped edges on those. We have a embossed background with ink blending. We have a few handmade postage stamps. These are my favorite and very hard to part with, I have to say. But I know they're going to go to a good home. I just did this one the other day. So you get the full panel of embossed words plus all of the die cut ones that I showed. This is a new embossing folder that just came in from Altenew. So you can get that sample panel. You get this beautiful Christmas one. Isn't that great? The ornaments. And then I was testing out a plate that my mom had purchased, and I have a few extra panels. This is a Better Plus plate that I used for foiling. So there you go. You're going to get all of this if you are chosen to be the winner of our draw today. Okay, any questions? I'll pack this up in a nice little bag, and then I will take it into the store tomorrow. And then when we draw our winner, we will be able to add that to somebody's box. Okay, any questions you need to ask? If you want to email the store about anything with questions, there is our email address, twoscrapbookfriends@gmail.com. That is the best way to get in touch with us. If you don't mind, and I know a number of you have already done it, you can give our video a thumbs up when you leave. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you will never miss a video. You might not catch it live, but you will get an email to let you know that we have done a video and new content is available on our channel. And that way you can check it out. So, oops, I left the banner up there. Let's get rid of that. Hide. I see there are some comments. What are we saying? Oh, we're saying hi, fun prize. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to tune off for tonight. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching it on replay, thank you for that as well. And we will see you again soon.